Moving on to the US measurement system. This used to be called the English standard system until they were smart enough to move to the metric system. So you will see that the US measurement system is a lot more complicated. We're going to have to use our calculators more, and we're not going to be able to simply move decimal places around. I am planning to have this table open on my other screen so I don't have to keep scrolling back to it. You guys will have it in front of you, so you should be able to see exactly what the conversions are. And we're definitely going to have to use dimensional analysis when working with these, because we can't simply move the decimal place anymore. Let's take a look at some examples. We have a lot of examples to go through, just like in our last one, which is probably good for you guys because then you can see how this dimensional analysis works on the English or the US system. So let's see how many inches are in 4.5 feet. So again, just like before, we'll take 4.5 as my computer does its weird stuff again. We have 4.5 feet over 1. You always start with it over 1. You can ignore that over 1 if you want to, if you're comfortable just looking at it as a simple 4.5 feet. We are going to want feet on the bottom, inches on the top. How many inches are in 1 foot? There are 12. So we have to multiply this out. 4.5 times 12 equals 54. So there are 54 inches. How many feet are in 18 yards? So we'll do 18 yards over 1 times, we'll want yards on the bottom, feet on top. How many feet are in 1 yard? There are 3. 18 times 3 is 54. Who knew we would get 54 again? One yard is equal to how many inches? This one you might be able to do in your head, but I'll use dimensional analysis regardless. Do we know how many inches are in a yard just off the bat? Some of us might not. So we may want to convert to feet first. So yards are going to be on the bottom. Feet are going to be on the top. Again, just like up here, we have 3 feet in 1 yard. And then how many inches are in a foot? We'll have to have feet on the bottom because we're converting to inches on top. We have 12 inches in 1 foot. 1 times 3 times 12 is 36 inches. And 1 on the bottom, so 36 inches is our final answer. 1 mile is equivalent to how many yards? Well, if we look at our table, we know how many feet are in a mile, but we are not given how many yards, so we're going to have to calculate that. So mile on the bottom, we have 5,280 feet. And now we have to convert to yards. So we're going to have feet on the bottom, yards on the top. In 1 yard, there are 3 feet. Now we'll take everything on the top, multiply it together, be 5,280. Everything on the bottom, multiply it together, it is 3, so we'll take 5,280 divided by 3. 1,760. Yards. Now we will look at volumes. How many ounces are in 2.5 pounds? According to our chart, there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So we are going to start with 2.5 pounds times 1 pound on the bottom. How many ounces are in a pound? 16. Multiply 2.5 times 16, and we get 40. So our answer is going to be 40 ounces. How many pounds are equivalent to 1.2 tons? So we'll start with 1.2 tons over 1 times, in 1 ton there are 2,000 pounds. We'll multiply that out. We get 2,400 pounds. How many fluid ounces are in 6 cups? Now we're talking about volume. So we have 6 cups over 1 times, we need cups on the bottom, ounces on top. Fluid ounces, there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. 6 times 8 is 48 fluid ounces. How many pints are in 3.5 quarts? Okay, we know that there are 2 cups in 1 pint, 2 pints in 1 quart. So we have 3.5 quarts over 1 times 2 pints in 1 quart. That'll give us 7 pints. I should note at this point, I do not expect you to memorize these. During exams, you can have a cheat sheet next to you with all of these listed and any that you want to add to that list. So don't feel like you have to be able to know these off the top of your head. How many gallons? 1 gallon equals how many pints? So 1 gallon over 1 times, we can convert gallons to quarts. 1 gallon, there are 4 quarts. And in 1 quart, there are 2 pints. So it is going to equal 8 pints. A bag of apples weighs 55 ounces. How much is that in pounds and ounces? Oh, that's tricky, because we're going to have to convert to pounds and then convert our decimal back to ounces. So we have 55 ounces over 1 times, how many ounces are in a pound? 16 ounces, 1 pound. So let's take a look at 55 divided by 16. 3.4375. So we have 3 pounds. So this may be familiar to when we had started looking at improper and mixed number fractions. We are going to subtract off the whole number and multiply the remainder by what we just divided by, which is 16. And we get 7 ounces. A carton of orange juice contains 59 fluid ounces. Determine its volume in cups and fluid ounces. All right, this is going to be very similar. So we have 59 ounces over 1 times how many cups? Let's see, 8 ounces in 1 cup. So we're going to do exactly the same thing we just did in problem 10. We're going to take 59 divided by 8, and we get 7.375. So our number of cups is going to be 7. And then we have to figure out the ounces. So we'll get rid of that whole number because we've already taken care of it, and multiply our remainder by what we just divided by. And we get 3. And finally, let's end this video with a very cute kitten example. Comet and Fred are being put into a cat carrier. What is their combined weights? Well, we aren't given their original weight, but I will tell you the answer to problem 13 is Fred is 3 pounds and 2 ounces heavier than Comet. Their combined weight is 20 pounds. So let's turn this problem around. How much does Comet weigh? How much does Fred weigh? Let's say Fred weighs, or let's say one of the cats. So Fred is the heavier cat. So let's say that Comet weighs X pounds. And Fred is 3 pounds 2 ounces bigger than X. We know that their combined weight is 20 pounds. So 20 pounds equals X plus 3 pounds 2 ounces. Let's combine our like terms. What is 20 pounds minus 3 pounds 2 ounces? It is going to be 16 pounds and 14 ounces. Divide both sides by 2, and we get 8 pounds 7 ounces for Comet. Fred weighs 3 pounds 2 ounces more, so Fred is going to be 11 pounds 9 ounces. So thanks for your patience with that one. We had to kind of turn that around due to some missing information in the problem. So at this point, I'm going to have you work on the student examples, and in our next video, we will work on converting between metric and American units.